What is going on, everyone? Today, I wanted to share with you my insights on an electric vehicle company that I believe has the potential to gain on huge positive proceeds. This company is MULN Automotive, ticker MULN. Now, in today's market, while the stock market went down by about 30% in terms of the S&P, Mullen Automotive actually did pretty well today, as well as other EV related companies. We know that Mullen Automotive within the past month, it's been just plummeting in terms of its share price, and what's really driving the overall reduction in the share price, right? I mean, there's just been a lot of uncertainty with the CEO selling off shares, about 15 million shares, and most investors are questioning whether the CEO should remain as the current leader for Mullen Automotive Company. What's going to happen? Will this company go through a reverse split in the future up through September timeframe? There's lots of questions here, right? But based on just the Q4 financial release, the company has not yet made any revenue generation yet. So there's lots of uncertainty. However, when it comes to investing in the stock market, the good side that we see with Mullen Automotive is just the support from institutional investors such as BlackRock, as well as normal investors like you and I, where we have belief in the story of Mullen Automotive. That's why we as consumers, we like following Mullen Automotive, right? That's why I actually purchased more shares of Mullen Automotive yesterday just to continue dollar cost averaging down. Now let's dive deep into the information I wanted to share with you. We're looking at Mullen Automotive's share price. Today, it ramped up close to about 7%, and in the aftermarket, it ran up by another 2.5%, which is a good thing, hovering at like now 24 cents. Now, if we scale to the 1 month range, the overall share price has dropped by about 33%. We know that at one point back in early February, Mullen Automotive was at the price of 42 cents, and the CEO actually sold off 15 million shares at around the mid 30 cents range. Now, we know that the year range at one point, right, if we scale back here, this was hovering at like the $4.18. Even though we're looking at it in hindsight, if we capitalize on either dollar cost averaging down or taking advantage of the low price point here, we can potentially see a short squeeze, which I believe can come with any press release information that really gets announced from the overall company. Now, the average volume today did pretty well, exceeding the average volume of 191 million. So that's a good thing. We're seeing lots of comments on StockTwits, on Reddit, right? Mullen Automotive is one of the top stocks that is being monitored at this time. Now, let's dive deep into this article in terms of why Mullen stock is up 7% today. And this really has to do with, an oversold bounce or a potential short squeeze coming up. Shares of the EV company carried a short interest of 11.3% as of February 15. And we know in terms of year to date, it's almost down by about 30%. Today, the stock did pretty well, gaining at about 7% after surging close to about 12% during intraday trading. Now, what's unique is that while we see this bounce up in the stock price, most of what caused the price to drop in the recent weeks is due to the poor fourth quarter earnings, insider sales from the CEO, as we found out, and a lack of production and a resale of up to 2.49 billion shares of common stock. So what does this mean, right? The company is continuing to dilute the shares, and eventually there may be about 5 billion shares of common stock available in the market, which may pose risk in the long-term course. Now, what's really driving today's share price up? And this article is noting that today it's really a short squeeze to come. And there were a total of 166 million shares sold short with a valuation of 57 million. That's equivalent to 11.3% of short interest, which actually fell by about 14% compared to January. Now, what's so unique here is that MULN frequently publishes press release, and an announcement from the earlier this month may have piqued the interest of investors. And back in early February, MULN announced that it would begin a 60-day pilot program for its Class 1 EV cargo vans at Los Angeles International Airport, known as the LAX, working with Menzies Aviation and Loop Global. These companies have aviation sites all around the United States and other locations as well. So this is a great partnership, transporting cabin cleaning teams to aircraft. Now, on top of that, Bullinger Motors will present its B4 chassis cab at Work Truck, which is coming up in March 7th. And MULN acquired about 60% controlling interest in the commercial truck company last September after acquiring Bullinger and taking on all of the intellectual property there. Now, this is looking very exciting with all of this news, and we know that MULN actually expanded its EV vehicles, tapping into the Ireland market with its product line there as well. And we just really need to see revenue being generated to increase on the sales number. I wanted to share with you this article release, MULN stock price prediction amid many broken promises. We know that, the company here, according to this article, this person is saying that MULN Automotive continues to underdeliver with promises, right? The company has no revenue as released from the recent earnings report. And in the past, the company has touted major purchase deals. Now, just to quickly go through what we have here, what this article is talking about is just with the loss of assets and potential dilution. And we see here the operation expenses. It's increased significantly here, as well as R&D costs. So that's one thing that worries most investors here. Now, what can we see in the coming future? Yes, we understand there is potential dilution, which we all have worries about, but also there may be a potential buyout, right? Like, let's say if another company like Ford or General Motors sees the value in MULN stock, likes the intellectual property, and sees the potential future with purchasing this company to continue the barriers to entries of other EV companies, then MULN Automotive may partner up with the bigger dogs, and then eventually this company's stock can eventually skyrocket as well. But even without that, any news can really drive the share price up. And here, even the article is saying there's the short squeeze possibility. So that really hasn't been excluded yet at this point. Now, as we cycle back to the overall price, I believe from a technical standpoint, the relative strength index is really low, and that there's going to be more buying. And we can see in the first half of the year that MULN Automotive, back in December, it was 19 cents. It went all the way up to 42 cents with a slow progression here. By dropping this quick, I believe it's going to run up very quickly here with the U shape that will be established. I believe that first half of 2023, we may see a breakthrough, right? And as we get close to the September date to meet the NASDAQ requirement of $1, who knows? Either MULN Automotive gets bought out, there may be a change in the leadership program, or in fact, MULN Automotive, there's just great news where this company just short squeezes and it can just go beyond the dollar range at one point. So let's not ignore the potential in what MULN Automotive can do. So that's my perspective of where we are here. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the thumbs up, subscribe to alliseeisW, where the goal is to gain on positive proceeds and lead with an altruistic mindset. Thank you all. I'd love to hear your comments, questions, and feedback down below. Thank you.